Where's your intro?
Are we live?
Yeah.
Hi everyone. We can't see the chat
That was powerful.
or how many people we got on.
1 billion.
Yeah, right.
Getting the chat set up and popped out. So I'm gonna put a link in the description of this live chat for a live video I did earlier. We did actually over on Grizz 270's channel. Live sawmilling out in my yard. Sawmilling some red cedar and black walnut.
Hi Chris.
Did you want this?
I can see it.
Oh, I didn't know.
Say hi to
I
Chris.
usually end up requesting it, so I'll put it here. Hey Chris, how you doing? When I was live earlier, I didn't see the chat, so I couldn't see anything you were saying because I was milling and I was in the StreamYard thing with Grizz. But at least here now we can see the chat. Alright. I am messing with settings that I probably shouldn't do. I was going to try to... Oh, here we go. Custom. Whoa, that's terrible.
What's the comment?
Alright, cancel. Yep, I'm not messing with that. About time we had some refinement back on this channel, right? Let's see. Does the audio and video look okay? If you say yes, I'll stop breaking it. Here, hang on just a second. We got background noise I gotta shut.
Oh, you can shut the damn off, Mike.
Alright. So let me get Christina Cox.
Oh, Emma.
Emma has autocorrect on her tablet. I'm gonna grab the link for the live stream that we did earlier, if I can find it actually. Oh, come on. Christina Cox.
I am turning it down.
Alright.
The video is fine, they say, Mike.
Alright.
Wait a minute.
That's what I'm doing. I'm going to get something else real quick. So I'm just gonna pull up the video. You guys will probably be able to find it yourself anyway, but let's see. Oh. Well, maybe I have to look.
Hello, making sawdust.
Sorry for the delay. I'm just trying to find that link to the video earlier. It doesn't look like it's published on Grizz's channel unless I'm missing it.
It was on your channel, though.
No, it wasn't.
I just saw it.
We didn't do it on my channel though,
Oh.
so there's no way. There it is. I was just trying to find the notification in my... Here, I'll put it right here. There. Wow, that's really long. I don't know why that's so long. I think maybe I have to click through to get to it.
So what's everybody's plan for the weekend? Any new woodworking projects?
Share. Copy. There we go. Nope. Someday we'll get better at this. All right. Cool. Yeah, so we milled a black walnut and a red cedar earlier on that video. So if you guys want to check it out, if you guys weren't watching earlier, definitely check it out. And if you have any questions, let us know what you think.
It's a beautiful log. Piece of wood.
Yeah, yeah, it was a really nice black walnut log. I've never milled black walnut before. Making sawdust again, still forever. How's it going, Kevin? Um, Chris says, waiting for the yard to dry out. Oh, did you get a lot of rain there recently? Uh, let's see. That's better. Yeah, we had snow here a few days ago. It wasn't a whole lot, so that wasn't too bad. And it's been like in the 20s and 30s for weather outside. So um, today, when it was in the 40s, I decided this would be a good day to do the sawmill video because oh oh hey Grizz, sorry I had to listen to the really long commercial before entering. What was the commercial for? Anything good? Hey Grizz.
Hi, Grizz.
Wallhawk says, how's Stacy's chair coming along? It's coming out great. It's going to be made of black walnut. So yeah, if you guys haven't checked out that video, I'm going to try to download it later today and kind of cut out some of the dead air in it and edit it up into another video. But like Grizz was saying earlier on the live video, it was kind of a good, I think it was a pretty good video because you kind of get to see all the different things that go into having to mill wood, especially on a sawmill that doesn't have a power feed or any hydraulics, and a smaller mill where you have to kind of trim logs and work around stuff. I ended up hitting some metal in the cedar log, so I ended up having to change out my blade and cut the metal out of the wood in order to continue milling it. So it's a pretty good video. I think it was a little over 2 hours long, but like I said, I'm going to download it and edit that. I have two or three other videos that I still have to edit and upload. A couple of them, those CNC live streams, I might try to download and edit those, but depends on what they look like when I do that. I have a video for a chainsaw milling video that I did for milling some 52-inch wide pine slabs from a log that I had that was 70 inches wide, and I trimmed the log down in order to get it. It was 70 inches wide. I had to trim the log down to 52 to make it fit in my chainsaw mill. So I'll be working on that. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to pick up another load of logs, probably some more walnut, and there'll probably be cedar and a bunch of other interesting woods that I've been picking up from a friend of mine. So that'll be pretty fun. So, I can see it from here. Let's see. Making Sawdust says, hey Grizz, you may know me as Kevin from Hope This Works. Grizz said, I don't know what the commercial was. I walked off to mix a drink. That's a good time for that. Hey Gene, how you doing? How's the weather up in Maine? Mexico, I believe, right?
Probably the same as here. Actually, they got a lot of snow, I
Well,
think.
you'd be surprised. Go down to Massachusetts and it's like 50 degrees out.
Yeah. Actually, I think they got a big snowstorm on Thursday, whenever Ryan didn't have school.
Let's see. Chris says, all night last night, over a half a day today for raining. Wow. It's already raining again. Forecast to last all night. Wow. This must be getting pretty
I seem to get a lot of rain there.
Must be getting pretty squishy there. Do you get rain? Do you get rain every like this much rain every year? Because I remember it was last year too. Like or just over the summer and spring, you were getting a lot of rain. I guess that must be like a really wet area. Let's see. Try. That would make a nice chair. Yeah, we also got some red cedar that I just milled today. I know she really likes that. So, and she wants me to make some end tables, so I'm going to be working on those. Hopefully soon.
I need my shelves though too.
Shelves for what?
That closet that's not finished.
Oh, well, can we finish the closet first? And then
I
I'll
know,
make shelves? See, she's already got me working on stuff that I can't even work on yet.
The shelves would probably be more important because I can put all my couponing stuff on the shelves.
Use this keep leaning. If you don't mind.
That's
Make
fine.
it easier. Try to figure out
You were at the rain.
Okay, oh no, you have it in top chat, that's why it's all out of order. Trying to figure this out. Chris says, hey, making sawdust. Let's see, Chris says all night. Okay, so I was out of order on that too. Wallhawk says, why isn't Grizz a mod? I don't know, why isn't he? We can do that. There we go. Luckily enough, we don't usually end up with people on here that we end up needing moderators, so we got pretty lucky there. Hey Mark, how you doing? Good to see you here. If anyone here likes CNC machine work, definitely check out Mark's channel too. He's got some really cool videos over there. See, Grizz, I don't need to be a mod. Well, you are now. Emma says, hi Gene. Grizz, you and Chris are doing fine. Gene says hi to Emma and Naked Sawdust. Hello, Mark. Hi, Mark, from Emma. Emma says, everyone like and subscribe. Hey, she's the boss, so better do what she says. You can probably hear her. She's like giggling in the other room. Let's see. So Gene says wet. Oh, so it's wet up there? So you didn't get any rain and stuff? Rain and ice? You got mostly rain? Or
You got rain, not the snow.
yeah, you got more rain than snow, I'm guessing. It's pretty frozen here. A lot of it's frozen. Some of it thawed a little bit today, but not by much. Grizz says, Mike, question, why do you flip the log 180 instead of 90 degrees? Emma says, that's a good question, and she's right. So the reason I was flipping the logs today 180 instead of 90 degrees is because I typically mill most of the wood for live edge slabs because that's what most people are looking for. I don't typically mill a whole lot of dimensional wood, but I might start doing that actually, depending on, I might start doing that with some of the oak and the pine, milling it to some more standard dimensions,
Yeah.
just for people that are looking for that. But more of the unique wood, like I don't only get so much of it, so I'll mill them all into live edge slabs, and if somebody wants dimensional wood from it, they can just cut the live edge off. But once the live edge is off, and then people start asking me if I have live edge slabs, and all I have is dimensional wood, I can't really put the live edge back on. So
they love the live edge.
yeah, for whatever reason, everybody wants the live edge on their boards, so I tend to leave them all on. I see a lot of other channels doing the same thing, like Out of the Woods down in Tennessee. Pretty much everything he mills, I don't know if I've seen him mill any dimensional wood, but pretty much all live edge stuff. There are some guys I watch that don't mill any live edge, and all they mill is dimensional wood. But like Joe Saljo Juan, his channel, he mills only dimensional wood. It's mostly oak, but he's milling it mostly for himself. I think he does sell a little bit of it, but I think it's mostly wood that he uses. So I guess it all depends on the market, but I probably will start milling some more dimensional stuff. Wahawk says for live edge slabs, 90 would be bad. Oh, there you go. Yep. Mark Lindsay says I'm in South Oregon. Oh, I just got distracted. Sorry. We're just starting our rainy season. Oh, okay. So is it usually rainy over there this time of year? Hi, can we help you?
No, she's just.
Oh. So it's just starting to get rainy there. So does it? You don't get a lot of snow there, from what I heard from what Grizz says. He said, I think he said doesn't frequently snow there very much. Gene says cedar would make a nice chest of drawers. That's a good idea. I might save a bunch of, maybe save some of the cedar to make
Did
something.
you know how to make those chests?
Like just a cedar chest?
Yeah, those sold like crazy.
I did? Well, we sold two.
Well, we sold the
We
two.
sold two like crazy.
No, we sold the two, and then Mike had the pine ones and those sold too.
Well, you could do pine and then line the inside with
Yeah.
cedar too, which sometimes people do. Yeah, cedar would make a lot of cool things actually. Chris says, get from the Gulf as well as from the Atlantic. Yeah, that makes sense. Right, because you're getting hit from both sides, like Florida. Mark Lizzie says, oh, thank you. I'm just some mope in a shed, trying to have fun. Yeah, I'm just a mope out in my yard, trying to stay warm while I'm milling logs. And try not to break things. Gene says, we got snow, but it's melting. Yep. We got snow. Most of it's melted. We didn't get a whole lot. I think in the end, sorry.
It's alright.
I think in the end we got less than an inch, but most of it's gone. Yeah. And we're supposed to get a wintry mix of rain and snow sometime next week.
Yay!
Wahawk says lots of ours melted today. Yep, it was nice. 40, 45, something like that today. Gene says, yeah, mill it. I need a shop. Grizz says, is there a lot of demand for live edge both sides or only one side? It's kind of a mix. It all depends. I know that's the answer for most of the things that people ask when they ask kind of what people are looking for. But a lot of times people just buy the wood and they don't really tell us what they're doing with it. So they could be doing something where they're cutting one edge off. Some of them could be cutting both edges off. We wouldn't even know. But a lot of the things that we do only require one live edge. Like the bathroom vanity I just finished, and the countertop I did before that. Actually, that was live edge on both sides.
What about the mirror door? That was live edge on both.
The mirror door was live edge on 4 sides, but that was because we custom cut it to put live edge on 4 sides. So people tend to like more live edge than not, but not always, because sometimes we get people who are just say we got mostly live edge, and they just say, well, I don't want any live edge, I don't like it. So there are some people out there who just don't like the live edge. But for me, for a lot of things, live edge is cool, and for some other things, I wouldn't use live edge for. But I guess it's all preference.
Oh goodness, Emma.
Chris says, Mike, you need dimensions to build your new shop. I want to, it's kind of a tough one because I'm thinking about selling one of our pieces of property next door where I was going to build a shop. And I don't know, because we're going to be here for at least another 10 years anyway. So it's like, is it worth building a shop? And then 10 years when we move to another piece of property, I get to build another one. I guess it's not too big a deal because it's not like I could have it built in 1 year.
Yeah.
And then it would be add value to the property, I suppose. So I thought about doing a timber frame. And I have a friend who does know how to do timber frame building. And then there's also a guy locally I say locally, but like in New England, who is part of the Timber Frame Guild, who I think would also be able to help and throw some advice. So I thought about putting some plans together and getting a cut list, and then slowly over the next year or so start cutting timbers and stacking them, so they're all ready. So when I want to build the timber frame that I design, I have everything I need and ready to go. See, Wahawk says Grizz leaving both sides and then the customer can choose. Yep, that is a good point, because you never know which side sometimes what people want. Mark says we get about 18 inches of rain between November and February. Very little snow, and what snow we get usually is gone within 24 hours. See, I like that. Every time I hear about the weather in Oregon, I want to move there. Like, it sounds like you don't get excruciatingly painful cold. You don't get a terrible amount of snow. Sounds like you got one rainy season. You don't get hurricanes and tornadoes. Like, it sounds like it. Why don't we move to Oregon?
Does it get really warm there in the summer?
Yeah, you guys get pretty warm there in the summer too, I would imagine.
That's alright. I like warm weather.
I mean, that to me, that sounds like a pretty. I mean, I don't know what the land prices are, taxes like are out there, cost of living. But it's funny, you don't. At least here, we don't hear a whole lot of people talk about like, oh, Oregon's one of the best places to go live. Like,
Right.
when I hear about the weather, though, it sounds pretty good to me. Chris says cedar can also be made into a hope chest for Emma. That's a good point. Chris says I have a whole bunch of incense cedar here. Okay, is that like the western cedar? I know like here they have eastern red cedar, or they call it American red cedar, or they call it aromatic cedar. So they have different names for it. It's the same wood, but Emma says we get snow at our place. We sure do. Yep. Wait till the winter comes. Some storms will get 2 feet in one storm.
Just what a hope chest was.
Oh, Emma asked, what is the hope chest? I'm not exactly sure. I know it's a chest of some kind, but
I answered
I'm
your
sure.
question.
Oh, I'll get there. I'm getting caught up. I wish I could get one of these incense cedar logs out to you for Emma's hope chest. Oh, throw it in UPS. Wahawk says, sound like Mike needs a St. Bernard with one of those rum casks. That'll keep me warm. Homestead Fabricator says, my job sucks now, can't get Mondays off to get metal supplies unless take a pay cut, 20%.
Oh.
If only it was smart in my 20s would have the cash to quit. Any ideas how to make things happen? Taking a pay cut and then just working more. That's what I did. I mean, that's what I'm doing now. I had like a nest egg of savings to ahead of time too that I've been saving, but at the same time, taking the pay cut, I make half, if I'm lucky, half what I was making an hour before. But I also, like I was talking to Grizz earlier about, I start some days 7 in the morning, and I'll still be up at midnight posting ads, working on the website. So if I work 12 hours, I probably work 12 hours a day average on days that I'm working pretty straight through. So it's 20% less, but you might have to work 50% more. But if it's something that you love doing, it doesn't matter. Like, that's why you're doing it.
You'll be happier.
Grizz says, Emma, it's like a toy box full of memories of a lifetime. Emma says, it sounds fun. I love to make one. Thanks for the idea, Chris.
Aww.
Emma says, hi, Homestead Fabricator. So, Emma, maybe it's a project you and I can work on together. I'll grab some of the cedar that we milled and we'll...
That would be fun.
Yes, it would.
I want to join you.
Mark Lindsay says, heck yeah, build a shop.
Alright. Yeah, so funny.
Emma wants to join us. She's been trying to sneak in, so I don't think we can stop her.
Stop it.
Let's see. Mark says, heck yeah, build a shop. As a former real estate agent, I can tell you that it'll help if you should decide to sell it. Okay. Yeah, because it's a separate piece of property, so I was just thinking of building a slab and just putting like a timber frame barn type thing on it and using that as a shop. So I guess, like you said, it'll only add value. Chris says, thanks for answering, Grizz. Grizz says, Oregon is heaven on earth. Snow is close enough to drive to.
Cool.
I'm
not worried not driving to it.
We were planning a different trip, but I'm thinking planning it to Oregon now. We should drive.
To Oregon in a week?
No, not in a week, like next summer.
Yeah.
Like we'll take like, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks.
I don't know if I could get that much time off.
Yes.
And then we,
if you have questions, then you can tap me. Just don't do it every like 1 minute. I'm gonna try to get caught up here. Let's see. Hey, Dad Perfect, how you doing? Good to see you. Thumbs up, man. Emma says, hey, Dad Perfect. I'm way behind. Chris says, no. Western cedar, yes on aromatic cedar. Okay. Yep. Mark says, we don't get warm here. We get downright hot. Okay. This was a mild year. Only 100-degree days. Wow. In 2018, we had 5 straight days of over 110, and I don't know how many days over 100. Wow.
Wow.
That's pretty brutal.
Wow.
That's
Hey.
hot. Okay. I don't like extreme hot either, so I guess I'm kind of picky. Grizz says, how much would it cost to ship a 42-inch diameter log, 12 feet long, UPS from Oregon to New Hampshire? Maybe they'll give you the Pacific Northwest discount. Hey, maybe if I come to Oregon, I'll pick it up. I'll bring my trailer.
Good.
Hey, Jim, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey, just seeing you on. Popped on to give you a thumbs up. How's it going? We're doing good. How are you? What sort of stuff you been up to? Jim's got a fun channel too. He makes some really nice stuff. Wahawk says, Grizz, haul it to the UPS store. There you go. Yeah, wrap it up in some newspaper or whatever. Throw a tag on it. Bring it right down and just bring it into the store and see what they think.
I don't know.
Have them weigh it up.
I don't know if you've ever been to the UPS store lately, but they're not the nicest people there.
Well, it depends on which one, but yeah. Well, you're getting closer to the holiday season now too. They're probably getting
Grumpy.
so. Hey, Butch, how you doing? Butch says hi, Mike and family.
Hi.
Jim says hey, Mark. Wallhawk says Emma TV. Now it's a party. Let's see. Gene says Stacy, Mike's Christmas list is the LT70 mill with the EG400 edger.
Is that what you got in the mail the other day?
No, that was just a piece of paper. He's talking about mill.
No, you got some mill stuff in the mail.
Oh, that was a whole. I got a whole flyer that has
Oh.
all the mills that they sell, but yeah, the LT70 is. I think that's the biggest mill they make, or at least the most expensive mill they make. Let me see. I forget how much they are, but they're. I think they're like $50,000 or some
Jeez.
crazy thing. So, yeah, I don't remember, but they're like $50,000, I think. They're kind of crazy. But they're big, powerful, they can cut fast, and I guess if you're doing a lot of production cutting, it would be good to have. I think the LT70 would just be too much for me. Maybe like the LX, they get the new LX250, which can mill up to 50 inches wide, I think. That would be cool. I'd go for that. It's not mobile though, it doesn't have wheels. That's the only thing. Mark Lindsay says, Oregon is expensive. Land is pricey and property taxes are on the higher side. Not to discourage you, you know.
Taxes in New Hampshire are high too, I guess.
Yeah, I think taxes in New Hampshire per thousand are like one of the highest. New Hampshire taxes are pretty high.
Well, it's because we don't have sales tax.
Yeah, there's no sales tax. I don't know if you guys have sales tax out there on just typical things you'd buy in the store. There's no sales tax on clothes,
Just
but
like,
and there's no sales tax on like groceries. But there's meal tax on when you go out to eat, which is really high. I think it's like 9%, something crazy.
well, or if you get stuff at like the deli counter, like those chickens, there's a mail tax on.
Any prepared food. So, and then the property taxes are some of the highest in the country. But I think the property prices in New Hampshire are low. But I grew up in Massachusetts where the property prices were really high. But a lot of people from around the country say that New Hampshire has kind of some more of the expensive property. So I don't know. It's kind of hard because I don't really know what things go for, but it's definitely something to look into. Homestead Fabricator says, I have to get 8 paying hours in my shop at 40 an hour to cover the pay cut. Any tips on getting a bunch of orders on deposit? Keep going hard on, make some designs up, even if you draw them out, or learn to use SketchUp, do some designs in there. Add some color to them. Post them out on some of your local marketplaces and local yard sale sites.
Social media.
Social media. Right on your Facebook page, you can don't do the boost listing, but actually make Facebook ads. Watch a lot of videos on how to make Facebook and Instagram ads, and just post and post. Make sure you're on Instagram posting a lot of these things. Pictures and examples of things you can make. Even LinkedIn is actually a pretty good place to go to do that stuff. A lot of businesses are looking for custom metal stuff. Also, try to collaborate with maybe a local woodworker, sawmill, kind of somebody like me in your area that might want to incorporate metal into their woodworking, and you can do collaboration projects together. And you can actually cross-pollinate your audiences. People who follow them will follow you, and vice versa. And you can actually work on projects together that add a lot of value and variety into the things that you can offer. So those are just some ideas and definitely things I would do and things I should be doing. I say it and I'm not doing it as well as I should either. Gene says 64K, so that's the LT70, $64,000.
Wow.
The one I want, I think, is like 20 or 30,
Wow.
which is still a lot. But Jim Dockrell says, I've been lazy the last little while, resting and trying to get motivated. Moving snow, used muscles that haven't been used in a while. I know that feeling.
Well, you haven't had to move snow yet.
Well, not this year, but that's the funny thing too is in New England, every time it starts snowing, everyone acts like it never happened before. It's like, oh, snow! Oh my God, we're getting snow! It's like
Nobody knows how to drive on it.
and it's like it's November. Like it happens every time this year, like without fail. And it's funny because it's usually people that have been in New England their whole life. It's like, whoa, snow! It's like, yep. But like you said, you don't use those muscles all through the warm weather because you're not shoveling and pushing it around and all that. Let's see, what was I? So Homestead Fabricator says, how does 50% down on orders sound? It will cover materials and shop supplies. That's a good idea. And if the customer backs out, which if you get a design that somebody agrees on, typically they won't back out, but definitely getting a deposit is something you definitely want to do. I am really bad at that and really need to start doing that. I'm going to be designing a couple of new projects coming up and quoting those, and I'm going to have to get a deposit on them. There's another one I just gave a rough estimate on. I'll definitely get a deposit on that. So going forward, I really need to start doing a better job on that. I need to at least cover the materials, and depending on how much work there is, I may even have to get someone to cover kind of some of the work to at least get myself started. So if it's something that's going to take, weeks to get done, it would be good to get a little bit up front. Let's see. Chris Cox says, I think it's about close to 70,000. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot. Gene says, Mike, I'm trying to help you, buddy. I appreciate it. Chris says, Gene, if Stacy gets that mill for Mike, You're still not getting his woodland mills. Wahawk says Stacy doesn't love Mike $64,000 worth. Maybe $64 worth. You can see it in her eyes.
Me.
Gene says, Grizz, Grizz, you get it, and I get yours. Wait a minute. Grizz says my property tax is $800 a year. Oh wow, that's really cheap on 6 acres. Ours is $800 a year on our property next door, and it's 2¼ acres.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, is that just for land or is that?
No, he doesn't just live on the ground.
Why no? That's cheap.
Right,
Because
that's what I'm saying.
this house is like 5.
Yeah, the taxes on this house are a little under 5, I think.
Yeah.
It's like 4,500. It's 2½ acres in our house. Mark Lindsay says we have no sales tax at all here. Okay, cool. It's the same thing with New Hampshire. Well, like I said, except for prepared meals, hotels, motels.
Hotels have a tax.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Oh, I didn't hear.
Hospitality, prepared foods, and there's something else. Oh, property taxes.
Yeah.
Let's see, where am I? Grizz, ours is 1,600 on 1/20th of an acre.
Wow.
That's probably what it would be here, 1,600, because I mean, most of the value of the property here is our house, so 1,600 is not bad. We paid, I think we had 1/4 of an acre when we lived in Claremont.
Oh my God, the taxes were
The
ridiculous.
taxes were like $5,000 a year there, 5 or 6.
It goes by the town, I think. How the
Per
town-
town, yeah, around here, the different towns have different tax levels too. It's probably the same in every state, but. Grizz says, Mark, the difference is I have my property as a timber deferral. Okay. Yeah, our property next door that has no like buildings on it, it's just a piece of land. And we only paid $17,000 for the land, and it's $800 a year for taxes.
Is it really that much?
Yep, $840 a year. Chris says, I just paid my property taxes today for all 4 pieces of our property. Was less than $750.
Oh.
That's okay. Maybe Georgia. Although I don't know if I like
They get a lot of rain there. It sounds like.
hurricanes and rain. That's a tough one. Yeah, Grizz says, wow, that's cheap. Mark, yep, we're in an unincorporated town, so we have county taxes only. Okay. Gene, so the taxes based on the numbers we've seen from you guys, it doesn't seem bad. Gene says, I use my arm muscles a lot lifting my coffee cup.
Hey, me too.
It's a big coffee cup. Chris says that's over 50 acres total, plus includes the mobile home. Wow, that's amazing. That'd be a great winter home, though.
Yeah.
You know, get some nice warm weather all winter. That's what we need to do. Is just get a place in the cooler climate, a place in the warmer climate. Chris says I'm moving to Chris's area. I don't blame you. If it wasn't for so much rain and hurricanes, I probably would too. How's the rain and like weather throughout the winter? Does you get less? Does the rain kind of start cutting back in the winter? Homestead Fabricator says, if only could get on a conference call with Dave Ramsey, Ken Coleman, and Gary Vaynerchuk to sort things out. Mike, and your fans should check out Ken Coleman. Yeah, I'll check him out. Grizz asked Chris, how much 40 acres is in Georgia. Mark says, at Homestead Fabricator, I require a 50% non-refundable deposit before I start work. Design change costs extra if they come after I've started the work. The balance is due. That's a great plan. I need to, I like that. I think I'm gonna go buy that same thing. That's a really good way to do it. I appreciate that, Mark. Chris Cox says millage rate now up to 33.44. Wahawk says Mike gets a wood miser and Emma gets the woodland mill.
Goodness.
Just get her like a mini mill. Should make one, just a little kid sawmill. That would be cool. That would be fun. Just like a mini sawmill, you could put like small little logs on. They can. You could probably get like an electric bandsaw from like a wood shop and just flip it and turn it into a little like 6, 8-inch, 12-inch logs. Like,
Right.
that'd be fun. Homestead Fabricator says thanks, Mark. Gene says Chris just lives about 10 miles from my daughter.
Ooh.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Hey, Butch, don't forget no New Hampshire income tax. That's true. That's another thing to consider is all these different states are going to probably have income tax. New Hampshire doesn't. Although their property taxes, depending on your income, can sometimes make up for that. But not really, though. Because it's, the property taxes on this house is like a few $1,000s more than it would be in Massachusetts. But this house in Massachusetts would cost 10 times as much.
Mm.
I guess it all depends. Grizz says, Wahawk, I have a feeling that Emma would get the wood miser and Mike would still be stuck with the woodland mills. She'd somehow outsmart me. I know it. Chris says you can still find land for $5,000 an acre. Whoa. That's a lot. Well, it depends. I guess depends. Like here, like I said, we got 2 1/4 acre next door that any building lot land that's like right on a road that's like nice and a good spot to clear and build a house on. Typically, like right in this immediate area is like 10,000 an acre. But when you start getting into larger lots, the cost per acre dwindles. And then when of course you go into places like the northern tip of New Hampshire or Vermont or upstate New York, or maybe not New York, but the northern tip of like Maine, you can get property for $1,000 an acre, but it's completely undeveloped. Sometimes it's on a Class 6 unmaintained road, and yeah, and so
those are rough in the winter around here.
yeah, so it all depends, but. Mark says, okay, we have an income tax, but the rate depends on your income. That's, well, that's like federal tax too.
Yeah.
And the source of your income, the highest rate is 9%. Oh, wow. Yeah, so I guess if you're in the highest rate, that would be a lot. But if you're in the highest rate, money's probably not, money's probably just not as much of a problem. Wahawk says she's the boss. I am, you're right, she says. Really? Alright, now you're giving her a swell head. Chris says, my largest property is over 42 acres and I get a tax break due to it being in a conservation agreement. I cannot divide it up to sell it. Emma says, show me funny, Dad, just a little sawmill. Yeah, we can make a little sawmill. I meant to say that would be funny, just a little. Oh, yeah. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Wahawk says, if the redhead in the house ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
That's true.
Gene.
Chris says, Gene, I live 22 miles north of the state line.
Yep. Homestead
Fabricator, think octagon or hectagon fire rings would sell better than square rings. I guess it depends on the person, but I think the more rounded ones would look cool. And also if you can like incorporate other designs and things into it, like do some other, I don't know what, I'd have to look up like fire
Put it
rings and
down.
stuff online to kind of see, but
Yeah.
see if there's any sort of other like designs and people, things that people have come up with. That's what I would do. I would go on and just look at pictures of things that people come up with, and don't necessarily copy what they do, but kind of come up with your own fun idea of something you could do to make it more interesting. Jean says, "Okay, Chris, I was thinking St. Mary's." And then Jean says, Chris says, "I work for St. Mary's." Jean says, "Oh, okay, my camper is stored in St. Mary's." So I'm guessing St. Mary's is a town. Oh, right, yeah, because I believe Chris mentioned he worked for the town.
Mary, Lindsay, Nancy says, offer all 3 designs, maybe.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I've said that.
Oh, offer all 3 designs. Yep. Yeah, and if you can do something where you can like sketch it up or find some pictures of examples of things you can make, you could get custom orders. And just that that's kind of how I get a lot of my orders is people see other things I made and they see it as an example of what they could have. They don't necessarily want that same thing. So I can tell you from my experience that usually when somebody sees something I make, they kind of think of something but based on that same idea, but they want something different. So it's not always cookie cutter, but if you were able to make, careful on my foot, please. Okay. I have to readjust here. Stop moving around. Killing me. So yeah, like I said, I would just come up with a variety of ideas and things to make. You can even make smaller versions of those things possibly for smaller little fire pits, or I'm not sure like the cost and the time that goes into it because I'm not really good at that stuff, but maybe make a couple of example ones depending on the cost and time. Let's see. Chris Cox says most fire rings I seen is round. That's most of the ones like you see in the store and stuff are round. So, and I don't know if there's like you could do something cool where you could make them in like a shape of something else. Doug says got the whole gang present tonight. Yep, and they're squirming around in here for us. Mark Lindsay says that's where my orders come from, word of mouth, but I'm retired, so I don't do this for a living. Yeah, I don't. Most of the work that I do is not custom woodworking. A small percentage of it is now, but I'm hoping to improve that. So, see, Chris Cox says Emma needs her room. Oh, your room, like in there? Okay, bye.
Nah.
It's not being a pain.
Nah.
Mark says folks see what I've made and come up with 100 things that they need yesterday. Yeah.
Yes.
I've been lucky though, like just to kind of talk about like the woodworking side of the business. Like I was setting up work. Actually, speaking of, I got a text message from a customer who's waiting on a slab to be finished. But I scheduled a bunch of jobs over the spring and summer that took me a lot longer to get done because I ended up getting other work which was unrelated to woodworking. So I was out running my skid steer and my tractor and doing like site work and stuff. So I ended up kind of getting pulled away from doing the woodworking because I really couldn't turn that work down during the nicer weather seasons because it's the only time that work can be done. And for what they pay for site work, I couldn't turn the work down, especially since I had just quit my job and I needed to make sure I could make a living. So I ended up pushing out the woodworking stuff that I scheduled, and that I kind of felt bad, but it was funny because most of the people didn't mind. I ended up turning down some work, and then when I told them that I had to turn it down because there's no way I could get it done anytime soon, some of them are going to be waiting until January, February for their projects, and they don't mind doing that. So, because I have a lot of other things going on that I'm working on. I got to work on the website. I'm going to start working on videos. We have the new store we're opening up, and sawmilling. So that stuff takes away from me doing my woodworking. And then I also want to come up with like a list of products and things like we can put on our website, making smaller things with the CNC machine, and even just smaller things by hand, stuff like that. So we need to kind of have a diverse income stream, so we get income coming from different places, because if one thing dies down and gets quiet, we can't just like not make money. So let's see. Gene says, I'm retired, was tired yesterday and tired today. Homestead Fabricator says, approximately 225, ready to use octagon fire ring, 16 by 16 expanded steel panels, plasma cut design panels extra. Does that sound good? Yeah, I would think, especially custom made. They probably cost, I would assume they cost probably something like that in the store. I mean, obviously the cheaper ones don't, but they're made cheaply. They're thin, cheap metal that are probably going to melt and buckle under heavy heat, where the steel you're using, I'm sure, won't. So you're making a better quality product by hand, and you're making it custom for someone. I think that's a good deal.
And people can shop local.
People, yep. And like, you know, I got somebody who just wanted a, I just gave a price on a custom cut large maple slab, flattened, cut to size, sanded, flattened, and finished. And I, you know, told them $700-800, and they were more than happy, because it's something custom. It's something they can't buy at the store. You know, a lot of people like granite countertops, but they look, a lot of the times, look very much the same. Same thing with, you buy just the cheap laminate countertops, but when you go to get a custom wood slab countertop, it's going to be more unique. It's going to be handmade. It'll be local. So a lot goes into something that's handmade. Let's see. Oh, did I miss a question? Oh, Chris says, don't really know, Jeff. Never priced one. Yeah, I've never priced them, but I would guess that would probably be. Mark says, we need to get together in a hangout one day, Mike. Yeah, that would be cool. Do you, I actually, have you done any videos recently? I don't know if I've seen any. Oh yeah, you did a live. Oh, I missed that.
5 days ago.
Wait a minute. That's weird. I was subscribed to your channel, but now. So I don't know why that happens, but that happened with Grizz's too, and I think Homestead Fabricator. For some reason, when I go to, I was definitely subscribed to your channel before, unless I was subscribed under my other name, but I haven't been getting notifications. So next time you do a video, especially a live video, I'll if I'm available, I'll come up and jump on. That'd be cool.
Get behind.
That sounds like fun. Jim says, we've been looking at places up north. Good thing I don't have to worry about being close to work. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of like the stuff I do. If I upped and moved, I could pretty much do this stuff anywhere. It's not like I have a huge client base or anything. I have a little bit of awareness. People know we're here, but not enough that it's like, you know, anything big. I can get plenty of new work right just through Facebook Marketplace and Facebook ads. We do Facebook ads, and those work, like the paid ads. But I'd say at least half of our slab sales, if not more, come from Facebook Marketplace and like the local yard sale
Craigslist.
groups, and a little bit on Craigslist. Craigslist isn't very big though, here and there.
Yeah. It's got us a few customers.
I mean, it's worth throwing an ad on Craigslist once in a while if you have a minute, because it's free. JP Woodwork, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Jim says, JP. Mark, you're just like me, Jim. We're married and we're always close to work. JP says, hey, Jim. Mark says, Jamie, what's shaking, man? JP, hey, Mark. Homestead Fabricator for a display model octagon fire ring with each panel something different instead of several display models. Minimum steel thickness is 1/8 of an inch compared to the paper thin steel ones from the store. Okay. Yeah, because the ones in the store always look kind of flimsy to me. I had a friend, Francis, he had his. He used to have big fires in them and they would kind of buckle under the heat. Although he burned a little bit too big a fire sometimes. But,
In the wrong flames.
Mark says I put a video every Sunday and a live Q&A on that video later that day. I like that idea. I was actually thinking about doing that because me and Grizz earlier did my live sawmill video earlier today, and then I think it would be fun to kind of on a video like that kind of put out there, if somebody has questions on that video to bring them to the live Q&A. I think that would be a lot of fun. I like that idea. Jim Doctoral says, yeah, I gotta watch Trampled Underfoot. Great podcast. Oh, I'm gonna Google that. I'll check it out. I'll save it. Trampled Underfoot. Oh, is that a rock band? Underfoot. That comes up as a band, but yeah, I'll check it out.
Got some green.
I'm trying to get caught up. Oh, no, I'm lost. Oh. Mark says, thanks, Jim. We do have fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking that out and getting on there. I can't believe I've been missing it. JP Woodwork says, I heard Makers International is a good podcast too, Jim. Jim Dockwell says, it's not good, it's great. Mark says, it has its moments. Just kidding. Hey, JP Woodwork, man, I appreciate that. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Her name's Emma. JP Woodwork says, donates $5 or five. I'm not sure what that is. I don't know the symbols very good. I'm guessing it's like euros. I'm terrible with that. But I appreciate it. Get your daughter some candy. I sorry don't know her name. So Emma will definitely appreciate that. Now I owe Emma candy.
Right.
Did we lose the video? Went black on my phone for some reason. Mark Lindsay says, Trampled Underfoot podcast is me. Oh. Okay.
Jeez.
Just talking about life, the universe, and everything. That's cool. I thought about starting a podcast, something like that. I think that would be fun. I'll have to look that up too. I should add the word podcast, but apparently there's a band called Trampled Underfoot as well. I'm going to add the word podcast. There we go. All right, I'm going to save that. It says you're still there. Okay. No, that's weird. On my phone, it's all black. I don't know why. It scared me for a minute. I was like, wait, what's going on? Cool. Yeah. Yeah. So the video I did earlier today, that was definitely interesting. It's funny because I think that's the first. Pretty sure that's the first live stream I ever did with my sawmill, which was interesting because I'm used to moving the camera around at different angles so people can see different angles, showing off the wood. But I'm not used to people having to watch like the dead air time of when I walk away and grab my log hook or go get another log, grab my tape measure, things like that, where I'm like, I know people are just kind of sitting there watching just my sawmill sit there running, doing nothing. So it's different because at least I know when I'm recording and I walk away, I know, okay, later I can edit this out, like I can cut it out. Or if I, want to show a piece of wood, people don't have to watch me shake the camera around as I walk over it, stuff like that. So it's definitely different. So I don't know if any of you guys were there. I know some of you were, but I don't know what you guys thought of that. But I thought it was kind of cool, like Grizz was saying, where you could kind of see live how it all really happens and what what kind of goes into it, because like stuff like that where I hit the metal and had to cut it and chew it out and all that with my chainsaw, like I probably would have edited some of that out. Maybe not hitting the metal and cutting it out, but like a lot of the dead stuff in between. So it definitely changes it a little bit when you're doing that. Wahawk says the video's still good except for the ugly guy. What is Ryan? Oh. Now I'm in trouble if Ryan's watching. See, Mark Lindsay says "Trampled Underfoot" was a Led Zeppelin song. It also looks like there's a band that may have been. Oh, it's also the name of a Led Zeppelin tribute band. Okay, and we swiped for the name of our podcast. That's cool. Definitely have to check that out. Gene says I enjoyed it. That's cool. I'm glad. I might have to start doing more live sawmill videos. I think that was kind of fun. Grizz says, Mike, can you please step off screen and bring Emma back up? Stacy and Emma are much more pleasant to look at. What? Come on. Why can you not love all this? What are you looking at? I'm all dressed up and everything.
I was gonna say, at least your clothes aren't all ripped and stuff.
Not from what you can see. It's faded off though. You can't even really see what it says anymore. Wahawk says, Grizz 270, indeed. Yeah, it's funny. The wood that I milled earlier, I took pictures of it after and posted them on. So actually, Jeffrey, an example of how like effective the Facebook posts are. I took pictures of the red cedar and the black walnut that I milled just a few hours ago. Posted it up, and within a few hours, I already have 2 pieces sold. One person already paid me through Facebook. They're coming Sunday to pick it up. I got somebody else coming next Friday to pick up at least one. And I got right now in my messages, it looks like 2 or 3 messages at least asking for wood. So just the 2 posts that I did in the last few hours, it's been pretty effective. So if you just keep posting, even post every day, just post something a little bit different, people will start seeing you. I've actually had people who have seen me around or seen me for other things, and then they mention that they've seen my other posts up and that they know that I sell wood. So it brings awareness. So if somebody's suddenly looking for like a metal, like fabricated project that they want somebody to make for them, they'll see that you make that stuff, and eventually it'll kind of be stuck in their head that they know from seeing you there all the time. They'll think of a metal project that they might want. Did that happen? Oh, I know.
They're so cute.
She's looking at the dogs. You're silly.
No, yeah, I don't know. They look cute. They're like all
But
snuggled
yeah,
together.
so once they realize that you're around and they think of a project that they might want to make, they'll come at you with it. That's actually how I've gotten some of my work that way too. JP Woodwork says, you're stuck on a desert island and you need to survive for 1 year. Which 3 content creators do you have on the island with you?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Sean James from, oh wow, I'm totally blanking now. My Self-Reliance. Probably just need him, that's it. Yeah, I don't know, I can't think of like, I guess somebody who's, well, I think he's going to be doing a solar. I was to say somebody who could do like some solar electronic work. I know there's guys out there who do that. I don't know if I watch anybody who has like a solar setup like that. I probably do. Of course, you have, now I'm blanking on the other one, Cecil. So he would be another, since he's pretty good and handy at mechanical stuff and solar, things like that. I can't think of a third one though. Somebody who can cook. Maybe hunt and cook, you know. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have any other ideas, but that's a good question. I like that. Mark says, don't be throwing shade on the beard and stash, man. No, I'm actually just really lazy when it comes to shaving. I just don't like to.
Beard oil.
No beard oil. No. No.
Yeah.
It's not for decoration. It's just, well, it actually helps me keep my face warm in the winter. I do shave it in the spring and summer though when it starts to get hot because it can be a little bit much if it's too thick. But I might shave half a dozen times a year, maybe. Gene says, look out, Mike, when they get that funny grin.
What?
He's talking about you because you were looking at the dogs. Grizz says, question for Stacy. Do you ever enjoy working the mill or CNC or skid steer, or does Mike hog all the fun?
He hogs all the fun.
Oh, really?
Hold on.
Do you even want me to go there?
I have the wood splitter.
Stacy likes splitting firewood,
It's.
which, yeah. But speaking of your question, Grizz, today was like the warmest day we've had in over a week.
And I was home.
And Stacy was home all day inside while we were running the sawmill outside, or I was running it while we were chatting. And I offered her the opportunity to come out and mill with me and stuff.
Yeah, you did.
She's like, no, it's too cold. It was in the 40s.
It wasn't that cold.
No. And you were born and raised and grew up in New Hampshire your whole life. But 40s was too cold. So I hog all the fun only because she turns it down. JP Woodwork, LOL. Nice. Oh, there you go, Grizz. Actually, she's pretty skilled. Yeah. She's done some pretty cool stuff. Grizz says JP, one of those three would obviously have to be Farm Girl. It's actually WT Farm Girl, so it's WTF Farm. It's kind of cool, though. She actually like hunts and kills animals and slaughters them.
What about that girl that catches the fish barehanded?
Oh, that's another one. I don't know if you guys watch. Her and her father are pretty cool to watch. Hannah and Jeffrey Barron. They have a channel. I think her channel is just called Hannah Barron, and his is Jeff Barron. But they're down in Alabama, and they do a lot of hunting. They do catfish noodling. I don't know if you know what that is, but they catch like 50-pound catfish by hand by diving underwater and sticking their arms in their mouth and just picking them up out of the water. It's just beyond me. I'm all set. But yeah, they're just wild to watch. Plus they built a whole building. The two of them together, father and daughter, built this big building. It was their own fitness center right on their property. She's into fitness and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, if I was going to survive, those two are pretty rugged to survive with. Mark Lindsay says, what's the name of that guy who builds entire houses out like of mud and stuff? Primitive Fabrication. Oh, I think it's Primitive Technology is the name of the channel, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he would be really cool. He's always fun to watch too. Yeah, Primitive, there you go, Grizz. Yep, Primitive Technology. Trust in Timber. Yep. Let's see. Chop with Chris. I've never heard of that. I'll have to look that up. Chop with Chris. Primitive Technology, John Plant. Okay. Yeah, I think he's like started his channel and it was one of those channels that just kind of started doing videos on just primitive stuff and it just blew up. There's a lot of channels like that that have those really popular niches. They just do one or two videos and just boom. There's this one girl we started watching that does van life videos. She lives in a van.
Yeah.
She worked a regular full-time job. She just happened to live in California in a van, and she parked in different places. And
Be right
she
back.
just and she just liked living in a van. And she posted one video, and the video got over 1 million views in like the first 2 weeks. And her channel now has like 2 or 3 million subscribers, and she's only got like 6 videos, something crazy like that. She put her first video out this spring, but it caught on. YouTube recommended the crap out of it, and next thing, everyone subscribed to it. It's pretty cool. Grizz says my wife likes running the wood splitter too. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's funny. Like if I get like a big pile of wood all bucked up and ready, Stacy will just be like, "Hey, can you go start the wood splitter for me?" And she'll just go down there. And I think it's nice because it's like she just chills, listens to the sound of the wood splitter, splits pieces of wood, doesn't have to listen to his kids complaining. I actually like splitting wood too, but it's a lot more fun than bucking it up, that's for sure. I don't mind stacking wood actually either.
Yeah, I
But
don't.
nobody here likes doing that. Mark Lindsay says, that's the guy. You got to have him if you're stuck on an island. I think that's a good call because like he doesn't use anything for technology other than just what's there, like on the ground. It's pretty cool. Chris Cox says he has a book out now. Oh, that's cool. I'll have to look for that. Oh, it's out great now. So we're gonna. I don't know if I mentioned it in the early part of the video, and everyone may not have been here, but so we have 10 watching. We're gonna try to get back to the regular weekly live stream videos, and we were talking tonight, and I think we're gonna go with Friday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern, which will obviously put it at 6 p.m. Central. Is that right?
Yeah.
No, is that right? Central? Yeah, there's like 4 time zones, whatever, but you get the idea. All the way down to 4 o'clock on the West Coast. So anybody who gets out of work at 4, at least over there on the West Coast, can get a chance to watch the video. And at least it doesn't put the video ending too late. So if we're on till like 7 or on until like 8:30, we're on for like an hour and a half. It gives people a chance to kind of get home and whatever and watch the video or wherever they're at if they want to join and watch. And then of course we can watch it after. But we're gonna try to do that and do like 7 to 8. So we're gonna try to do somewhere around an hour. And then I think what I'm going to try to start doing is grabbing questions from the videos that we post, if there are any, and then obviously answer any questions people might have about the video and the channel on the live stream too. So. Mark Lindsay says, hit me up on Facebook. We'll jump into a hangout sometime. I have a couple of income ideas to run past you. You're in the perfect position to do them too. Oh, cool. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll look you up right now. That sounds cool. Is it just, do you have your own page or is it just like your personal account? I was just going to say you probably have mutual friends. We got 7 mutual friends. There you go. So I just added you. Yeah, I realized that a lot of people that are on YouTube, I ended up getting friended. And the more and more that happens, I notice like a lot of people on YouTube I have a bunch of mutual friends with, which is kind of fun. But yeah, so I'm definitely gonna be doing more sawmilling tonight. Tonight.
You're right at 8:30 at night.
Well, I could. It's just a little dark out and cold.
Well, tomorrow, are you gonna do it tomorrow?
Yeah. So I'm picking up another load of logs. Can you move that way?
Yeah.
Looks kind of weird on the camera sitting to like all the way to the left or right or whatever. But so yeah, tomorrow morning, starting my day in the morning. We're leaving here at right early at 6
Yay.
o'clock. It'll probably still be dark out. Driving my big truck down about an hour south of here to pick up another big load of beautiful logs. Who knows what I'm gonna get next? It's with the wood that he has. It's like all sorts of stuff. You just don't know where you're gonna get. He's probably got for dump trailer loads. He's probably got 6 or 8 dump trailer loads of logs for me. So over the next few weeks, I'm going to be going down there 1 or 2 days a week to pick up loads of logs and bring them up here. I'm buying the logs from him, and it's not like cheap, but it's also not terrible for the wood that I'm getting. The wood will be popular, so it should sell quick and it should sell for a decent amount. So I think it'll be worth doing. So anyway, tomorrow morning we should be back here. I'm thinking around 9. Then we're gonna go pick out some snow skis for Emma, and then in the afternoon, I'm thinking I'm going to get back and do some sawmilling because I have a guy locally here, local business owner I've done some work for that is looking for just some rough cut 2x4s, which I normally wouldn't do, but since it's somebody that I've done work with before, I like to keep people happy and keep them coming back. So if I can do that, I will.
You might get some business from.
Yeah, might get more business from them, but. So yeah, I'll be doing that. So I'll probably record that. I'm gonna grab a log and just turn it into 2x4s, and then I'll probably grab some more of that black walnut and cedar that I have out there, and then whatever else I happen to bring back tomorrow and build some of that. And then I also got to go down to our retail shop. Maybe I'll do a live stream from the retail shop next Friday, as long as the heat is installed and it's somewhat comfortable in there. We can do a live stream from there, and I can take my camera around and show you the place a little bit. Maybe I'll even just do a video on the store, kind of as it progresses. Because for anybody who's looking to do this type of stuff, sawmilling and woodworking is like a business. It might be kind of interesting to follow along to see kind of what we do, what mistakes we make, and what things work and what don't. Because I haven't really followed along other people who are doing this similar thing as far as like trying to make it an actual like full-time business. So I think it's kind of a unique thing for us to do. And if a lot of people are into sawmilling or into woodworking, and since we're kind of combining that and trying to make it our business, maybe it could help other people if people want to follow along and see how we're doing with it. So yeah, tomorrow I may end up putting some insulation in. I have my slab flattening table and router whole setup. I'm going to be moving down there this weekend, if not tomorrow, Sunday. So I'll be moving that down there, and then next week when the shop gets heated, I have a huge slab that I have to flatten, so I'll probably do a video on that, or maybe even a live stream slab flattening, if you guys are up for that. And so I'll probably do live stream videos in between the Friday night ones, and they'll probably just be kind of random, like when I'm going to do a project, I'll just hit live and go. So if you happen to miss any of those, sorry, but I'm probably just going to jump on like I did with the CNC machine stuff. Let's see. And then Chris Cox says, if you have hand tools, Mr. Chickadee would be a good one to have. Oh, yeah. Is he still on YouTube doing videos? I'm wondering if I somehow got unsubscribed from him. Because I don't see any videos from him if he is still doing them. Those are really interesting videos. And if he is doing videos, is he actually talking yet? Or is he still... Because he doesn't actually talk in his videos, or he didn't last time I saw him. But they're still fun to watch. A lot of people like those videos where somebody's not talking, they're just doing, you just kind of get to watch what they do. Homestead Fabricator says, if you didn't force Stacy to work so hard inside the house, she might be more inclined to help outside of the house. I know. I'm such a slave driver. Mark says, I just accepted. Oh, awesome. Gotta go make some coffee and get some dinner. Have a good evening, y'all. Hey, good night, Mark. Thanks for stopping in. We'll see you next time. Yeah, we're going to take off here in a minute.
And especially where you're going to get up early in the morning.
Yeah, we got to get up at like 5. So like 8 hours from now, just about. Gene says, how much lumber will a tree 75 foot tall and 22-inch diameter? How much lumber? 75 feet tall and 22-inch diameter. I can tell you right now. is I have a little app on my phone called the saw log calculator. So if I type that in, and the log is 75 feet and a 22-inch diameter, it will yield, it says 127 board feet.
Wow.
Yeah, 127 board feet. If it's pine, that log will, oops, wait a minute, that ain't right. Hold on. 75 feet. There we go. It's 75 inches. That makes way more sense. Okay. I was going to say 127 board feet does not make sense. Oh, Chris has got it. 1519. I got the same. Well, you can't see it. But anyway. Yeah, 1519 board feet. I thought 127 sounded pretty low. I was like, wait a second. Yep. So that's a good stack of wood. Homestead Fabricator, Mike, send me a 15 by 15 pattern of your shop logo that I can plasma cut. Maybe I can make something special for you. Oh wow, like a 15 by 15 inch. Okay, yeah, I could do that. That's cool. Homestead Fab. So you have. Oh, that's cool. Do you have? So you have access to a. Oh, so you would hand plasma cut it. Homestead Fabricator, Mike, too bad we don't live close together. Imagine the projects we could do together. On the upside, Stacy and my girlfriend would always know where we are, and we'd be up in the shop. Yep. Homestead Fabricator says that board foot estimate doesn't work because of the taper of the tree. Yeah, so I mean, it would be dependent on, if you cut that 75 foot log down into like, I don't know, 15 foot logs. Some of those logs, the diameter will be smaller because the tree will taper, but it's kind of if you cut off 10 or 20% of that, you might get 1,200 board feet, 1,000, 1,200 board feet because of the taper. So if you're looking at the fat end of 22 inches, you probably have a pretty tiny tip if the butt end of it's 22 inches. It probably wouldn't be much at the end. But all depends on the type of wood too, the type of tree. I know pine around here, especially where it grows so fast, you could have, like I actually had a 20 foot log. It was 33 inches on one end, and it was still just under 30 inches, I think, on the other end. So it didn't taper much over 20 feet, a few inches. Homestead Fabricator says, yes, hand plasma cut. That'd be cool to see, too, on a video. I'd like to see that. Gene says, that's the tree I might get from my daughter's place that isn't counting the huge limbs. Oh, cool. That'd be nice, yeah. Grizz says, to estimate board footage, measure the diameter in the middle of the tree. Yeah, and it's still an estimate. It's always going to be an estimate anyways, because you might have a crack and split in one section. You might be rot in another section. Yeah, and depending on like you said, the taper of the log, it's going to depend. And then even a taper from one end of each section that you cut out to the end is going to affect it. My whole screen just went black on my phone. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Grizz says, big limbs in trees for framing are not a good thing. Chris says, actually with a bandsaw mill, you'll get more. The log scale takes into account the taper. Oh, it does. I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah, and you will, right, because the saw log, when they do that calculator, it's based on a thicker blade because they're figuring it's a circular saw. So that's a good point, actually. That may be more accurate than, especially for a bandsaw mill. That's a good point. Well, it's about a little after 8:30 here now, so we're gonna wrap this up because we do have to get up in about 8 hours. So it's gonna be an early morning tomorrow for us. But I'll let you guys know what we get for logs, and probably gonna work on editing a video tonight. if not tomorrow, and try to get another video out in the next few days of my chainsaw milling, at least, because that's the next video up on kind of the chopping block. Gene says, Grizz, I think the limbs are for flooring. That's a good, that should work then, I would think. Homestead Fabricator needs so many things to make life easier. Shop, too bad a good CNC plasma cutter table is like $16,000. Yeah. Well, that's like the Wood Miser Slab Miser. I'd like that, but that's $17,000. If I was selling slabs every day, I could justify it, but until then. Homestead Fabricator says, just don't crash that load of logs. No, I was actually, she was in the car with me the last load we picked up last week, and I was nervous the whole time. But
Of course, we did it in the dark.
yeah, so Grizz says, scaling is done from the small end of the log. The shorter you cut the log, the more scale you will have. Yep. So, but yeah, I'll actually be on the lookout for Mark's live streams now that I'm on his. And then, of course, Grizz's, I'll pop on his when I can, at least jump in the chat. And if I have a minute, I'll jump up onto his live stream. So anybody who's not gone already over and checked out Grizz270's channel, definitely hop on over there, check him out, because I'll pop on over there on his live streams. It's fun to get on there and just chat about random stuff, it's always a good time. Anyone who hasn't checked out Homestead Fabricator's channel, he's starting to do some really cool stuff with welding. He's got a new shop now set up to do custom metal fabrication, so definitely go and check him out. He's going to have some pretty cool projects coming up. He's actually done some recently that I think you definitely have some fun checking out. Hop in the comment sections of his videos, Grizz, mine, if you guys ever have any suggestions on other things that we could do or you'd like to see. Definitely let us know that as well. But yeah, otherwise, we'll be back on for next Friday night for another live stream. At least I will, and then if Stacy can make it at the same time. And then in between now and then, I'll have some videos posted up, and I might see you on somebody else's channel. So we're going to shut it down now, and we'll see you guys all in the next video.
Bye.
So take care, have a good night, and we'll see you soon.
Thumbs up.
Please, yeah, give us a thumbs up if you don't mind.